Hello there, and welcome back to New Moreton. I'm Cobra Plays, and this is our New Moreton series. This is the second episode in our little town here. If you haven't already, be sure to check out the first episode for the backstory. And you know what? We're just going to go straight ahead and get tucked in. So we did unlock Firehouse on the last game. Don't want necessarily on the roundabout. Should we just go here for now? And there's an autosave. So we're going to use a wide sidewalk here just to make sure no cars park right in front of the firehouse. And well, we're just going to have to roll with that. So there's our firehouse. So this is going to be the New Moreton Fire Department. It's a small town. It's got one firehouse. It does have 4 vehicles. So right now that is 4 firefighting engines. There's no ladder trucks, rescue trucks, chief vehicles, but I'm hoping someone will mod that in the future. So that's right next to our medical clinic, and we'll go ahead and name that the New Moreton Medical Centre. And while we're at it, we'll go ahead and name this the New Moreton High School. Small town, so everything's just being named after the town. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and show you an industry. Livestock farming. Livestock farming doesn't have to be on fertile land. Those sheep don't need good healthy food. You know what? We're going to build a bridge across there. So let's go ahead and make sure we get the road in first, because obviously it's disastrous without the road. That is a really thin bit of land there, so we could actually... Okay, lower on this end. And that's the start of our bridge right there, so let's delete that. And if we lower out the train back here, let's make that smaller. If anyone knows any shortcuts for the tools back here, that would be really useful. That is way too steep. So we're trying to do what we can in this little corner down here. That looks like it's still a bridge. So that's still a bridge. Why? I do not know. We'll smoothen that out a little. It looks a little bit funny here. Let's go ahead and bring this across. Yeah, that's... Topography is a bit weird. It works. So, they've not got water. They've got power? They've got power. Interesting. Oh no, power. Ah, it doesn't run under this bridge. Okay. Well, you know what? So power does run for the bridge, but water and stuff doesn't. So someone's laid power cable through there, but these guys we're gonna have to lay through the water. It's a little bit strange. I wonder if you can build them above now. It'd be cool if you could place them above ground. That's something you sometimes see across a river, a chunk of pipes. Oh. So if they have to do any maintenance on these pipes, they're going to need a boat. Okay, that's the farm hooked up there. Let's go ahead and build this out. Let's place one back here. Ah, we have the snapping turned off. I thought it wasn't going properly. Yeah, looks a little bit funky there. So let's unsnap and bring it out a little. And there you can go to about there. We don't want it going right down to the river because we don't want our cows and our hens to drown. This is a bit tacky. What's going on here? This is a bit annoying. So I really do like the feature of being able to draw out farm and land in general. You know, when it comes to crop fields, this is what you want, custom sort of crop fields. With the animals, the livestock, it's a little bit strange doing this. It's sort of like it's trying to be a crop field, and then it's placing these animal enclosures and it all go. I think it's a little bit strange having it in this kind of field that's not a crop field. But it is what it is. That to me just looks really weird. The field, great, but the animal farms, the pens are a bit. I feel like that kind of thing should be against, you know, a track if there was a track running through here. So a bit strange. What's the next one on here? Stone. So we're going to come back to stone. Let's just go ahead and pick the town up a bit. So I'm actually going to go and fast forward through this whole next section. Okay, so I'm actually just going to bring you back in here. We just wanted to watch the sunset. It is now nighttime. I'm going to slow it down. We do not have any police, and we've got crimes being committed. It is dark out there. It's dangerous. Look at this, 73% crime. Ouch. So we're going to want to go ahead and get our police station in here. Yeah. With the police station in one corner. We might have to adjust the freeway a bit later. Let's have a look. So you can add some more police garages, but we should be okay with the few police cars we've got here. Let's pause it while we... New Moreton Police Department. These will get renamed when we start bringing more in. Yeah, let's just take a look at our patrol cars. So let's see where he goes. Everyone's going over here where the crime scenes are. Let's just put it in nice mode for a moment. So the cops are out here, laying down the law. Now, let's just take a moment to look at this police car. I did mention... Oh. Okay, so that was cool to watch. One thing that you did get in City Skylines, for one, and you don't get it in City Skylines 2, is the cops used to actually get out the cop car and go into the building. I'm pretty sure they're going to add that into the game at some point. You know, you've already got the AI walking around the street just here, and I've seen them getting in and out of cars as well, so I know that's probably something we're going to get. But we might not. At the end of the day, this is a city builder, not a police crime roleplay thing. There's another cop car. Nice. So just a little bit of something on this cop car. I'm noticing it has a very Dodge look. The back of it, look, you know, it's that typical Dodge, and the overall shape. So we're just going to go and have a look at our crime panel. Hopefully crime has gone down. Yeah, way down. We're good. Let's have a look. Is this the other model? Not two. So this here looks like a Ford Taurus, the Ford Police Interceptor sedan. The front of it and the side of it do. The back kind of looks a bit like a Chevrolet Impala. So again, two very common cop cars. They've probably looked at police cars in reality and thought, we're going to, you know, come up with our own thing that sort of looks like them. And I love that. I love it in the police cars, the ambulances, the fire trucks, but also just the traffic in general. You've got a muscle car here that's kind of like the Mustang-y kind of thing. The old Chevelle SS kind of look. This is what these remind me of. I'm not an expert on old cars, but this is the... I mean, that's got a kind of Pontiac look. Smart car, obviously. That's your standard sort of... It's in a Ford Taurus. So I really like the fact... I mean, this over here, that looks like a Ford F-Series. I really like the fact they've taken some inspiration from real life, and it's... You see that across the vehicles, but also look at these homes over here halfway. But I mean, you see these in Brooklyn, Philadelphia, Chicago, etc. These sort of multi-story row homes, brownstones, and of course you've got the classic sort of strip malls that you see across the USA. These have been built the wrong way around. I've just noticed that. I do not like it. Okay, you know what? That is not working, so we're actually going to go ahead and remove Maple Lane. I am so... Look how many businesses were... Cheeky buggers, a lot of you. Hands off the alleyway. I know they're cool, but it's bad for business if the main entrance is down a back street. What now? Okay. No. 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 Stay back. Or else I'll hit you with my spade. So, because we've done that, we'll have to do this whole funky thing. There we go. So throughout this series, you're going to see these alleyways everywhere. So I'm going to fast forward again, get some zoning, sort out some roads, etc. And then if I see something, I'll slow it down. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I've just placed a store. Wow. Wow. So I would say we're pretty far north. Wow. So what I've done here, I've actually placed a store in our industrial area because there's going to be you want people to be able to sort of go to the shop and things in between doing their jobs. This place sells electronics, that makes sense for an industrial area. Can we get a food place? Because, of course, workers are going to be getting hungry. And a lot of places might not have a cafeteria. Cafeteria? I am dyslexic, so some words are just no-no for me. What's that going to be? Anyone? Furniture! Right, so here's a place that stores timber. Stores furniture. Okay. Good morning. Do 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 do. So I'm still learning as much as you guys are watching and thinking, what the hell is this guy doing? So we've got a few places that produce timber, and we've got a place that stores furniture. So the place that stores furniture would likely sell that furniture to the furniture store. Once it's built, of course. Which is cool. So we've got furniture, we've got electronics, we've got vehicles, but like I say, we need those food stores. These workers, they ain't gonna work on no food. Let's watch the sunrise while we wait for those commercial plots to fill in. Food! There we go. So both of them sell food, so they can be in competition with each other. Leafy greens, so they're probably going to be selling vegetables and stuff. Something and all probably going to be the type of place. We'll wait until it fills in. Okay, so leafy greens is filled in. Let's have a look. We are having a few texturing issues, but like I say, the graphics are a bit intense on the hardware on top of the whole simulation. So obviously, like a story-based game like GTA, for example, the graphics are exceptional, but then you haven't got 1,000 little people running around, so obviously city builders are actually quite intensive. Leafy greens, so they sell veg. Here we go. Something and all. That is your run-of-the-mill sort of convenience store, basically. So that's where you can go and get your sandwich in between work things. So I think we're going to go ahead and buy up some more land. So we've got quite a lot we can unlock, actually, so we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Let's unlock the historic area. And these people are being a pain in the arse and complaining. So I'm going to do a bit more zoning, but I won't show you much of that. I'll fast forward it because I really want to show you some of the industry. So I'll just get some zoning down and build some buildings. So we're going to fast forward again. Before we fast forward though, I would like to show you a tall building. So I mean, it's a small town, I don't really want too many tall buildings just now. While that builds, we're actually going to go ahead and place some trees down. Let's place some pine trees. Let's place some birch trees in between the pine trees. Yeah. I wish you could overlap them a little bit more. And we've just unlocked a milestone. Fantastic. So, production panel. That's what I wanted to show you. Policies, natural disasters. Oh god. Transportation, low rent, housing, grain farming. Awesome. So we've unlocked a whole bunch of things. And that's great because I wanted to show you the industry in this episode. So I would want to think about getting on top of education for our economy. In fact, talking of the economy, we probably also want to think about our taxes and our cost of services. So let's go ahead and just quickly get some pine trees in and some birch trees. See, they're already beginning to go a little bit brown because it is autumn. It's not called fall, it's called autumn. Great. Here's 100 Sheffield Street. So actually, Sheffield Street we're going to go very stereotypical American with this and call it Main Street. Oh yeah, let's... Ah, where's our UI gone? How did we open that by mistake? It wasn't X, it was Z. So let's take a quick look at our budget. But before we do that, these guys are still complaining of no customers, so we're going to go ahead and just really zone. Really zone. So I'm going to fast forward through all of this. So just real quick, we've unlocked the signature building. I'm not going to show you that right now. We'll cover that in a later episode. But signature buildings are quite cool. So as you can see what I am doing here, zoning these row homes. And already we're beginning to build up a bit of a theme for this city with these row homes. I mean, look at them, wow. There's a bit of funkiness going on here. I'm going to leave that house. I like a bit of variety. But yeah, we'll leave it like that. So this is the kind of thing you'd see around the back streets of Philly, really. So like I say, we're already building up a bit of a theme. And I'm just going to continue doing that until we've sorted out some of our demand issues and brought more customers to places that need them. The whiny little ungrateful sods. Okay, so I've actually turned off... Oh, wow. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, so we're just going to ignore that for a moment. So I've actually turned off the nighttime because I cannot see what I'm doing. I will turn on nighttime at points throughout this series, but I need to be able to see what I'm doing, so I'm going to keep it off for the time being. We have got people complaining that there's a dead person, and the dead person isn't getting collected, so I'm going to go ahead and place a cemetery up here. Can we just go away for a moment? Hopefully you can turn off natural disasters while playing the game. I know you can turn it off before you set up a map. We want a crematorium. Sorry, a cemetery. Just going to go ahead and plop that here. God, that's really loud. Almost as loud as me. So we've got our cemetery on the hill here. Let's call that the New Moreton Cemetery. Just to satisfy the issue we have with dead people. And then we're going to soften out the terrain around it. Work on that. So the terraforming in this is really good. So let's go ahead and I'm going to dezone these two properties. That is really weird, the terraforming just here. So let's soften that out and build up to here. You know what? We're forgetting about our medium roads. So 200 meters brings us to there. Let's place that just here. 200 meters. And then if we bring that out a little bit further and just match these roads up. We're literally doing this just to plan. So it needs to be from the right, and 200 meters brings us up to here. This is following the grid I planned out in the previous episode. So let's go ahead and its upgrade tool. Now, do we do it to the right or to the left? I feel like doing it to the left because otherwise we're a bit near to the cemetery. No. And if we leave 2 squares, it gives us a bit more to play with. So let's go ahead and get this medium road dragged out to about there. And then in the future that could actually become a bridge across there. In fact, I'm glad I went with the two spaces because, of course, this is where we build our roundabout. So the train here looks a bit angry. Let's flatten that out, or smooth out, I should say. It's all quite uneven around here. So that does look good, except what is this here? It does look like we've got some texturing issues. Okay, and if we bring this road across to there, let's zone out some more. So that's mostly gotten rid of our demand. I'm just going to do a bit of funky here to add some variety. So at the moment, when we're operating on a bit of a grid, a lot of our homes are looking the same. I want a bit of variety, so we're introducing a bit of variety just here. Let's bring that out and zone some more. Actually, we're not going to zone some more. We have met that demand. These idiots need to do better with their advertising. Another signature building, we won't place that just yet. Offices. So I'm going to show you some offices. And we're going to place the offices just along here. Let's fast forward a bit. I'm just waiting until these offices are built. Okay, so these offices are complete. Okay, that's kind of annoying. That feels like it should be a corner building, so I'm going to go and get rid of that. Alright, financial office. Cool. Let's get straight to specialised industry, grain farming. So here would actually be an ideal place to plop a grain farm. I don't necessarily want it on our main road. Oh, that's the point actually. We could place it back here. The idea is basically to make sure that the back of the farm goes into the fertile area and the front of the farm does not. So let's zone that up here and soften out the terrain a bit. So as this is a farm, we don't need to do much terraforming. We can just drag it out, and this will actually look really cool once it's done. So bring this to about here, and already we have got a field placed. We don't have any vegetable farming, but in the future we will. Is that a bug? No. We will place a vegetable farm just next to that field there, and textile farm. So we'll probably place the textile farm just over here as well. And then that's a few cool looking fields. So let's unpause that. Awesome. And there's our field. So that field is looking good. What else is there to show you? Is that operating? Right, so I actually wanted to show you before we placed the field, but I forgot. Which tab is it going to be under? City economy. The economy. So we are making a loss. Service trade is costing us a lot. So we need to... I suppose we haven't got any power or water that we're exporting. What about production? So we have got a surplus of grain that we are exporting. So we're producing 24 tonnes and we've got a surplus of 18 tonnes, so that should mean we're exporting that. And then with the livestock, we're producing 32 tonnes of meat, and we've got a surplus of 8.6 tonnes, so we should be exporting that. Anything we don't export will go to local businesses. So, right, so we've got farmer going to... Anyway, we can imagine there's probably some feed in the back of this tractor. They're going out to feed the cows. Probably just fed the chickens. And this is producing livestock. And then the livestock... Hopefully, in fact, I'm going to wait until a vehicle appears and we can actually show you that going to the businesses. So we might have to fast forward a bit until a vehicle appears. Okay, so here's a semi-truck. Belongs to Woven Wool. It's just picked up 4 tonnes of livestock and it is transporting that, so they're going to go ahead and go to Woven Wool. I'm just going to follow them. So we're just coming into the industrial area now. We're carrying livestock product. And Woven Wool should be just along this street. So, given that it's called Woven Wool, it's probably the wool from sheep that we are bringing in here. Yep, you even got a sheep icon on there. That's awesome. So some happy sheep have been shaved. The wool has gone to this sort of textiles factory, and they are now producing textiles. And at long last, after almost a month of waiting, a delivery van came out of the textiles factory and is delivering textiles to Fabricios, which is a warehouse that stores textiles. So, okay, so my microphone, I muted my microphone while waiting, and unfortunately I forgot to unmute it. So this is now recorded after the fact. So what we saw here was a delivery van came up to the warehouse, the textiles warehouse. It collected some textile products, and we are just following it now as it makes its way into New Moreton. So just a quick recap. A truck came and collected some wool from the livestock farm, delivered that wool to the textile factory. The wool was processed into textiles, the textiles were then stored in a warehouse, and then a delivery van has come from the Woven Wool store in New Moreton and is now delivering those textiles to the store from the warehouse. So we're just going to fast forward a bit. Basically, we fast forwarded until we saw the delivery van arrive at the woven wool store on Main Street, and that means those textiles are now being sold in the woven wool store from the woven wool factory. That's a really cool feature just there of Cities Skylines II. So we have just watched the process of production and industry in our town, which is fantastic. So what we did do is we did actually go into our productions tab, and we had a look again at our products. So we were producing a huge amount of grain. We had a huge surplus, which meant we would be exporting large amounts of grain. It was the same for livestock products. And then when we came down here, we saw we were also producing a large amount of textiles with little surplus. So what that meant was the livestock products, the wool that we were producing, a lot of that was getting used locally to produce textile products and then sold in businesses as textile products, which is really cool, fantastic. And throughout the entire time you're playing, these will go up and down depending on how much industry you're bringing into the area, what you're producing, what the demand for those products are by both your town and other places outside of your town or city. And your surplus will go down as your local area uses more of these materials. And you've also got immaterial goods, so finances, software, video production, etc. So that's where offices come in to your game. Your city. And they will do the same sort of thing. They will provide a service to customers, whether that's locally or outside of your city. So we did have a deficit, so we decided to stick all our taxes up. And actually, in a later episode, we revisit this. So I'm going to put taxes down for the uneducated, and the higher in education you go, we're going to stick taxes up. I do think this is a little bit strange because obviously, yes, education is a factor, but people's wealth isn't necessarily linked to education. They could be, uneducated by the system, but they're well educated themselves, and that has helped them produce their wealth, as well as a few other things. You don't necessarily have to be highly educated to be wealthy. In fact, a lot of cases, unfortunately, students are massively in debt. So I think the tax band should be per wealth rather than education. And of course, you can measure wealth in the game. We'll probably look at some citizens later in the series and look at their wealth. We also adjusted the budget a bit because, like I say, we had a huge deficit. So we reduced funding for some of our city services. We decided to also lower some of the emergency services budgets, not by too much, but being a small town, I figured we don't need that much coverage. We've only got 2,000. And of course, we didn't have any garbage management, so it wasn't costing us actually, it was costing us because we were contracting that out to other cities. So that was pretty much it. In a nutshell, few people there saying not enough customers. But yeah, in this episode, we pretty much have gone through most of the production stuff. Just going to go ahead and leave you with this view of Main Street as we conclude this episode. So yeah, we pretty much covered services and production. We expanded the town a little bit, looked at some of our industry, looked at some of our cop cars and things, and that was episode 2 in a nutshell. So if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe for more. And if you've got any feedback, I really need some feedback. So go ahead and comment. That would be fantastic. Thank you very much for watching. Ta-ra, and see you on the next one.